Hello, my name is Greenwich, and I'm a member of the Writing 104 dual enrollment course at URI and East Greenwich High School. Before I was in this class, I thought writing was mostly something you did alone. Just you, a keyboard, and a blank Google Doc. But in Writing 104, I learned that writing can be collaborative, visual, and even fun. Throughout this semester, we completed 2 badges, 2 group projects. The first one about brunch spots in East Greenwich, and the second on minorities in the justice system. I learned how to work as part of a creative team, how to communicate effectively, and how to tell a story using multiple modes. These experiences didn't just help me become a better writer, they helped me grow as a communicator and as a person. For our first badge, I worked with Elena and Maddie to complete the Adventurer badge. As for our essay, we created a short video called Brunch Bites, where we explored some of our favorite places to grab brunch in East Greenwich, Rhode Island. We visited Tea's, which is a popular breakfast place in the town, known for its pancakes and eggs. Panera Bread, also, is known for its fast but healthy food. We next went to Simon Says Cafe, which is a small place on Main Street that makes amazing sandwiches and simple drinks. Also, last but not least, we went to Felicia's Coffee, known for its creative coffees, teas, bagels, and desserts. We each assigned ourselves roles. I was in charge of editing the video and choosing background music, which gave me the chance to think creatively about pacing, smooth transitions, and telling a story visually. Elena was the main scriptwriter and gave us portions of information to read out loud. We all filmed, but Maddie was the main videographer. She also worked on planning our itinerary and coordinating days that worked for all of us, even though it was not always possible for us all to be there. Even though we all had different tasks, we consistently checked in with each other to make sure the final product reflected all of our ideas and reached our expectations. Even though we did eventually have another group peer review our video, we were constantly peer reviewing each other, which improved the outcome a lot. The editing process challenged me to think about how the layout and the rhythm impact the viewer's experience. I experimented with the ratio of pictures and videos and transitions both musically and visually. The upbeat background music I chose helped keep the tone lighthearted, matching our goal of showing people where to relax and hang out with friends. I also had to find 4 songs that matched the vibes of all the locations. When we shared the video in class, the positive feedback, especially about the visuals and the aesthetics, made me realize that effective communication isn't just about words, it's about crafting the entire experience. And I felt very proud of myself for that. The next badge, for badge 2, our group decided to take on a more serious topic by choosing the social justice badge. We created a Google Slides presentation focused on the ways certain populations are disproportionately impacted by the American justice system. This time, Alexia joined our group. This project required us to do extensive research and think critically about how to organize the information in a way that was respectful, impactful, and truthful. We focused on 3 points to answer our research question, which was, to what extent do socioeconomically marginalized groups suffer unfair treatment in the U.S. criminal justice system due to systematic prejudice? The groups affected were minority populations, people in poverty, and people with disabilities. One of our key points was the racial disparity in incarceration rates. For example, we highlighted that while Black Americans make up about 6.5% of the U.S. population, they account for nearly 40% of the prison population. Additionally, we discussed how 38% of white people were successful in stating the stand your ground legislation, also known as a self-defense, versus 3% of the African Americans whom were successful. These are just a few examples of evidence we found and included in our presentation. We use visual tools like bar graphs, comparison charts, and other images to convey information to all learning styles. I believe that the visuals made the information more understandable and resonant in an emotional way, and I'm glad Mrs. Fallow made us include them. For example, We included a graph of the distribution of annual incomes for incarcerated people versus non-incarcerated people from the ranges of $22,500 a year to $37,500 a year. Personally, I contributed to our project by researching disability discrimination in the justice system and finding quotes to place in the presentation to introduce each point. An example of a quote I found was, "Jails and prisons are designed to break human beings, to convert the population into specimens in a zoo, obedient to our keepers but dangerous to each other." And this quote is by Angela Davis, and I found this as part of the Innocence Project. We also included real-life stories to humanize the issue and keep the tone both factual and empathetic. Additionally, we needed to introduce an audience interaction portion, so we created 2 Google Forms, one for before and another for after the presentation. These Google Forms quiz the listeners on their knowledge of the subject before and after by including the same question in both, all multiple choice. Through this project, I learned how to collaborate under more emotionally charged and complex conditions. We had to navigate how to present sensitive information thoughtfully and truthfully. Giving each other feedback became more important here, too. We had to listen carefully, check our facts, and support each other when we felt unsure about how to approach certain topics. Both projects helped me realize that collaboration is not about just dividing the work, it's about being present throughout the process and contributing ideas, staying flexible when plans change. I learned how to ask for help, how to give constructive feedback, and how to stay open-minded when someone had a different creative vision than me. More than that, I learned how to blend different modes of communication. In Brunch Bites, I learned how visuals, music, and narration can tell a cohesive story. In our social justice presentation, I learned how data, design, and language can come together to support an argument. I now understand how modes like spatial layout, visual design, and diction can enhance the impact of written words, which is a skill I'll try to carry into college classes like this one in the future, and internships, and possibly in the workplace. These experiences also gave me more confidence in my own voice. Working with people I trust usually gives me the courage to speak up, try new creative ideas, and push myself out of my comfort zone. I also learned how important microcommunication is, those little check-ins and honest conversations that keep a group on track and help avoid unnecessary conflict. Writing 104 showed me that writing can be visual, emotional, and collective, and it's more than just sitting in front of a Google Doc and typing on your own. I improved my writing skills and developed tools that will help me in group projects, professional collaborations, and any space where communication matters. By combining multiple modes and working closely with others, I learned how to tell better stories, ask better questions, and listen more deeply. I'm proud of the work we created and even prouder of how much we grew together as writers.